crafty friends! This is Amy on the Whimsy Stamps channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I will be using this adorable Dandy Wish stamp set. I like how this set has geometric images that are cute and work well together. I will be using this set to share some ideas of how to combine images and make patterns. I will also be mixing metallic embossing powders, gold, silver, and copper. To start off, I am choosing the large open circle from the stamp set, stamping it onto a card front with embossing ink, and then sprinkling gold embossing powder all over it. Of course, I have some stray pieces, so I use a dry brush to get those off. I will be making 2 of these card fronts. Once I heat set the gold embossing powder, on one of the card fronts, I will add the spiral circle from the stamp set, and on the other, I will add the sentiment happy and then the smaller day, also from the stamp set. I love how both of these fit right into that gold circle. It really allows you to stretch these images even more. For both of these card fronts, I want to use the smaller images from the stamp set to create patterns. I'm going to start off with the Happy Day card front. And for this card, I'm selecting a bunch of images from the stamp set and placing them below the gold circle. I will stamp these with embossing ink and then use silver embossing powder and then heat set it. Although I'm going to be stamping a lot of images around this card front, I am heat setting as I go so that I do not mess up any previous embossing and so I can see where and what I'm stamping. As I'm stamping around the page, I am careful about not repeating images too close to each other. I'm also making sure that the sizes of the images balance out, making sure that smaller images are near larger images instead of a bunch of small or a bunch of large images grouped together. I'm really careful about my placement, and I'm also making sure that the types of images make sense with each other. And I will continually pull off and add images until I like what it is. I really like how the silver and the gold play off of each other on this card front. It adds a lot of interest, and the shine makes a really simple design stand out. For the second card panel with the spiral flower, I was trying to figure out a way to stamp my sentiment. I decided to repeat stamp happy around the circle. I made a mistake stamping the orientation of the happy at the top of the circle, so I will stamp this at the end. After stamping the happy, I add day, so happy day is repeated all around the circle. I'm using silver embossing powder to make sure the sentiment stands out from the gold circle. For the rest of the image pattern, I want to keep the theme of repeat stamping in quadrants. I am using the large scroll tree to separate the card front into 4 sections. For the rest of the card front, I want to keep the same idea of repeat stamping within each of the quadrants. So I am setting up a stamp block with a collection of images from the stamp set, and I am inking that up with my embossing ink, and then I will go ahead and stamp that down. Because each of the sections of the quadrant is of a different size and of a different width, because I'm not using a square card front, I am going to take these same images, and what I will be doing is just switching them out and rearranging them so that they will fit. I am also going to be stamping and then embossing each of the segments, so that way I don't make any mistakes or mess up any of my previous embossing. I love the copper on this. It really helps the pattern to stand out, and it really allows the delineation from the main circle image, which is in gold, the sentiment, which is in silver, and then the pattern that was made up from the smaller sentiments, which is in copper. All of the different colors on this card really work well together, and it is really nice to kind of mix up some metallics. So here's both of those cards together, and here's a close-up of our second card. Absolutely adorable. My last card example today is a little bit different from the first two. Here I'm using the Scrib Doodles paper pack, and this is a new pack, and it is absolutely adorable. And I chose some of the image on the paper front that match up to the Dandy Wish stamp set. And I stamped those images in embossing ink and then heat set them in gold embossing powder. This gives the pattern paper a little bit of an extra shimmer and highlights some of the designs on the paper. When I have a busy pattern paper like the Scrib Doodles, I like to cut it into an interesting shape, and here I put it on the diagonal and tape the cardstock where I want it, turn the card front over, and then use large scissors to trim off any excess. When I want to add some more accents or some more metallic accents, an easy way to do this to make sure those metallic accents match is just add some embossing ink to a piece of scrap paper, add your embossing powder, heat set, and then cut off what you need. I did this same technique for the die cut Happy in silver embossing powder. So I cut off a 1/4 inch strip and attached this gold cardstock to the card front and just tack that down. I then take my Happy, figure out where I want it to go, add some tape, and to either side of it I'm going to stamp O before the Happy and then Day after the Happy in embossing ink, and then sprinkle on some copper embossing powder and then heat set those. So my saying will be, "Oh, happy day." I then adhere the Happy die cut, and this adorable card is my favorite of the three. Let me know in the comments if you like to mix up your metals. Thank you for tuning in, and please follow us on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook for even more whimsy inspiration. Have a wonderful day.